Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different. If you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit or arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So channel members, we do have a Major Arcana video that posted the other day, so definitely check that out. If you're interested in the Major Arcana series, the information is not going to be information you've heard before. Definitely check out the membership link in the description box below. So let's go ahead and let's get started. When I opened up for this reading, they showed me a card, and this card is from the, oh no, it's another deck that I don't know the name of, Shaman's Dream. I have the box over there. Okay, and it's this card here. Now, I will say it's called Angelic Frequencies. Angels are here, you are safe, potent connection. That might be important for somebody. Really, the image, the reason why they're showing it to me is because this is my symbol. This is kind of the imagery I have in my mind when I'm thinking about psychic information and how our intuition works. So what I knew immediately is that this message is going to be about psychic information. As I started writing things down as it was coming to me, I realized that this is kind of that direction that I earlier spoke about that my readings have taken this week. And I don't know if this is something that's just going on in this week or if this is something that's going to be happening now, but this is a little bit more of a message. So this is information that somebody might find useful. It is meant to be a confirmation. For somebody who has been praying about how do I know how my intuition is speaking to me, this is your confirmation. Okay, they do want me to give some symbols before I get into this. So if these are your symbols, it just means pay extra attention. If these aren't your symbols, this message still can help you. It might even be for you. It's just that these symbols are indicating that the person who they are assigned to, they really need to pay attention. So we have a yellow lily, and then a shaggy brown dog. I keep getting that shaggy brown dog theme. A bell with a ribbon. There's an angel ornament, but this angel ornament has like clasped hands. I'm seeing the clasp in front of the stomach, not the heart. Very specifically, it's the stomach. There's a tin, it's like a cookie tin or like a dessert tin of some kind, but it has this almost Thomas Kincaid looking painting on it. And then these two, I had to look these up. I saw the leaves and I didn't know what they belonged to. Philodendron gloriosum, a Calathea aureofolia. I think that's how it's pronounced. And then a golden key that was lost, but now is found. And a very small cardboard box, like a very, very small cardboard box, and the number 7. So whoever those symbols are for, pay attention. Okay. So now the first thing I want to get out of the way, I want to get out the first, it's almost like 5 subtle signs that your intuition is trying to speak to you. That's kind of what this is about in summary. So the first one I kind of want to get out of the way because it's one that I talk about. I actually talk about this one often. It's something that guides kept bringing forward in readings with me, starting probably about 10 years ago. And so ever since then, I've been using it, and I always recommend on the 4th week of mentorship with me that my mentees use it. So, and that is that when you wake up in the morning, pay very close attention to the feelings that are inside of your body. When we wake up, we have much more access to our subconscious and preconscious information than we do when we're awake, right? This is information that usually we don't have access to. We experience this information when we're asleep through our dreams, and yes, you do dream. Everyone always says, I don't dream. You would be locked up someplace if you didn't dream, or probably not even alive because your brain would fry. You don't remember that you dream. There's a difference. And one of the things that is very important if we are trying to develop our intuition is to develop dream recall. You can definitely be psychic and have great intuition if you don't have dream recall, but you'd be even better if you had good dream recall. And if you started to immerse yourself inside of the language of the subconscious mind, which is symbolism, in order to be able to decode and understand information that's coming to you. So one of the things about when you first wake up is that you have access to this information, and this access to this information is coming through in feelings. A lot of times when we first wake up, we have these like negative feelings, right? Like I'm unhappy with this, I'm worried about this, all these things. It's a very important time to honor those, because that's yourself trying to express to itself what it's worried about, what it's afraid of. And it's also revealing to you some very deep-seated beliefs. This information is all important. This state and what I'm about to share with you, it ties into every single other subtle way that your intuition is trying to give you a sign. right? So it's very important to pay attention to your feelings when you first wake up. This is the reason why, at least I believe, why it's the number one thing that we should be doing if we're trying to really explore our intuition. So very good times to pay attention to it after first meeting somebody. If you spent a significant amount of time on the phone or with somebody in person for the very first time, pay attention to how you feel the next day, right? Right when you wake up, is there like a chakra or an energy center that's kind of wobbling or feels kind of weird or feels like it's losing energy to something? Do you have a negative feeling? Do you feel a little lower than you usually do? These are really important signs. Obviously, if you feel that way anyway in the mornings, then that doesn't mean anything about this person. You want to be very careful about not projecting things onto people and to taking responsibility for your own emotions and your own beliefs when you do these things. Intuitive work is responsible work, right? When we're not responsible with our intuition and we take things as signs that mean more than they are, or mean things about people that they don't necessarily mean, that's really where we almost get into like this spiritual psychosis. So be very careful, be very grounded in your approach, right? It helps to carry a journal or have a journal to write things down in so that you can observe. Because the High Priestess card, one of the reasons why she's so powerful is because she took years to develop her ability. And any spiritual ability that's worth having takes years to develop. So if you honestly want something, you should be in for the long haul, right? Not expecting it to happen overnight or within a month or even within a year. Because if we don't love something or want something enough, then that's not really the long enough time to allow something to grow, right? Or allow our relationship with it to grow. So when you first wake up, definitely pay attention to those feelings. Pay attention to how you feel and honor it, right? Understand that that's an aspect of yourself trying to speak to you and that there is subtle information in it. So the second one that I want to talk about came because they showed me a cloud with a blanket, and that's kind of a symbol for me about being tucked to sleep. So it's about dreams, right? Which ties into the first one. And the message that's coming through in it, because I saw like a magnifying glass and then I saw like a strike over it. So it's the understanding that not forcing our dreams to be things that they aren't. So that's very important. A lot of people, they take these things and in their spiritual lives and they try to ascribe them a greater meaning as though the thing itself wasn't good enough. When we do this, what we're doing is we're really giving our intuition like a disservice, right? We're doing a disservice to it. We're not honoring the process. And when we don't honor the process, we're going to find that we have a harder and harder time understanding the process. So with our dreams, if it's really good to just focus on the dream as being just that, it's a dream. Focus on it being a very basic type of dream at first, especially if you're not skilled at dream work. Getting into a place where you can recall your dreams and you can write them down, right? And then going back over after you're used to recalling your dreams, going back over and trying to decode them. Dreams don't speak literally for most people. If we do, those are usually dumping dreams. Dreams usually speak a very psychologically symbolic language. I usually refer to this language as Jungian symbolism, right? Carl Jung devoted a great deal of time to this sort of symbolism. And a really good book that you can read if you'd like to understand a little bit about this symbolism is, and I'm going to get the title wrong because I can't see it from over here because I'm getting older. I think it's Mystical, Magical, Marvelous Dreams, something like that. Marvelous, Mystical, Magical World of Dreams. If you look it up, it is a purple and pink book. I'll put that in my links. I'll put the title in my links and you can check it out. And then a site that I use is dreammoods.com. It's a DREAMMOODS.com. I'll also put that in the description box. The reason why I use that site, not other sites, is because it doesn't get into predictive symbolism, right? This is not the symbols that our dreams actually speak to us in. I've never met a person who uses one of those sites and said, oh my God, all that stuff happened, right? It's always like, oh, that didn't happen. Dream interpretation sucks. So, definitely make sure that you're looking at actual Jungian symbolism when you're looking at your dreams, just so that you can understand how it works. And then at that point, you'll be able to understand the little differentiations in the way that your dream symbolism is actually working for you. Dreams do have a unique symbolism for us based on our culture and based on life experiences. So definitely, start with the basics and then build from there so that you're taking the time to learn the foundation and then you're taking the time to learn yourself. Now, people always want to project that all the people that are in their dreams are the actual people. The people inside of your dreams typically are aspects of yourself. They're people that symbolically represent in your 3D aspects of yourself. So approach your dreams this way at first, and then after a while you'll understand when it is about other people. It takes time to understand that. It takes time to understand when your dreams are actually speaking to you in a prophetic sense. Spirit interruptions do happen in dreams. It takes time to understand how that works for you. Start with your dreams in a very basic way and don't force them to be something that they're not, okay? The fourth way, or I'm sorry, this third way here is subtle feelings and beliefs, right? And I'm saying that because I wasn't quite sure how to explain the symbolism that I'm seeing for that. So I'm just going to say it. The third way was subtle feelings and beliefs. And this goes back to the first way, right? And we even find that in the second way, which is the dreams. But there's subtle feelings and beliefs. The reason why we want to pay attention to those, not just when we first wake up, but all throughout the day, is because it is a part of us that's speaking to us. Oftentimes, the reason why we don't pay attention to those things is because they're things we're trying to brush away. If you do a lot of shadow work, if you do a lot of self-healing, you're used to paying attention to those subtle feelings. But the more and more that you can learn to pay attention to those, the more you're going to be able to, and get ready, predict the future. And this is why your subtle feelings and your beliefs are the vibration that are creating your reality. If you get in tune with those subtle feelings and those subtle beliefs, you can accurately predict what you are creating in your reality. And so if you are saying, wow, I feel this way about this thing, okay, so that's what's going to happen, you now have the power to change your future. Okay, so this is another way that we have intuition, and we don't usually even think of it as intuition, but it is. It's our program, which is information about our future, is basically trying to speak to us, is trying to show us, hey, this is what we believe, this is how we feel, this is what we think. Right? It's all interconnected. Your intuition is literally part of you, right? It's getting information that is part of you. And I even tell my mentees not to think about intuition as something outside of yourself. Think about the information as something that's already inside of you. It's all inside of you, right? When we start distancing ourselves from the information, now suddenly it's a struggle to reach for it, when really it's there the whole time. It's been there the whole time. You have to understand the subtle ways that it's trying to reveal itself to you, right? The subtle ways in which we experience it. So I think that was the fourth way? No, yes. I think that was the third way. So I numbered them out of order. So the fourth way then is, and this symbolism here was interesting because it was a flower. It was actually that yellow flower, that yellow lily. It had opened up and it was this, I saw like this odor cloud. It wasn't the most pleasant color, but I understood that it's not about smell. For me, that's a symbol. When a flower opens up, it's a symbol about vibration. And for me, vibration is very much about sound. And so then I saw like this record player. It was like old school record player, and it just kept and going back and going back, kind of like a turntable, and it made me think of broken record. And so I got that what is coming through is that one of the subtle ways that our intuition can often speak to us is through the songs that get stuck in our head, right? Our memory banks spit out a little bit of a memory, a little piece of a song, because our brain is trying to tell us something. Pay very close attention to the lyrics that you hear. If you just hear music, then maybe go read the lyrics if there's lyrics, right? If it's just the notes though, and this is the interesting thing, if it's just the notes, pay attention to how those notes make you feel. You know, allow yourself to explore the possibility of like imaginary synesthesia. What color are the notes? What kind of emotions do those notes give you? What place do those notes make you think of? Things like that. Your intuition is trying to speak to you through music, through the music that you have stuck in your head. Now, going to music, sometimes we hear songs repetitively, right? And it's funny. I'm going to share a little something. There was a time in my life, probably about 6 years ago, when I really started getting into manifestation and viewing my reality as a reflection of myself. And one of the things that happened that kind of kicked that off was I was every time I was out, I would have that song play. It was Bring Me a Higher Love. And I knew that it wasn't talking about like a romance. It was talking about something within myself. It was like my connection, right? And it just, little things like that are trying to speak to us in a certain way. Make sure that we're not interpreting them through the lens of the thing that we want out of a space of lack. That's one thing I do want to say, because the next one going with that song and the song repeating over and over is synchronicity. That's the final way, right, that our intuition is trying to speak to us. Now, synchronicity is the big one. Synchronicity is the one that everyone, always discusses and always talks about. Sometimes synchronicity is just synchronicity, right? We're always trying to, as people, one of the things that we do is we're always trying to assign things meaning. How many times have you assigned things meaning and you wound up getting in your own way, right? This is a very important thing to understand. Many people don't pay attention to that. We have to pay attention to the times that we lead ourselves astray, right? Because those are our teachers. They're teaching us how not to use our intuition or what not to believe, right? Sometimes your synchronicities are just synchronicities, and for some of you, they're not just synchronicities, right? I can't speak to everybody's experience, but again, this is where having a journal so that you can document the proof or the outcome is really important, so that you have a map of whether it's working for you or whether something that you're doing isn't working for you. Sometimes we have to change our perception on things and our perspective on things. One of the reasons why we have synchronicity is because we've come into alignment with an aspect of ourself, right, that we haven't come into alignment with before. And as those things key up, we experience greater synchronicities. A lot of people will experience this, for example, when they have their awakening, or when they adopt a new religion, or when they get into a new relationship, right? Because now they're expressing joy, which puts them into alignment. Or they're having more hope, which puts them into an alignment. And this may be a place that they haven't had alignment in for quite a while, right? It's where we override those negative beliefs that are putting us in misalignment. So those are the moments when we tend to have the most synchronicities. Not all the time, right? It's just that's usually when most people notice their synchronicities ramping up. So sometimes you will have synchronicities that are really gods, goddesses, spirits, archetypes, whatever you want to perceive them as to be. Something ancient and primal is trying to work with us, right? Sometimes it's a path that's calling to us. One of the caveats to that is making sure, again, that we're not looking for things out of a place of desire, right? Especially desire that comes from lack. The reason why is because of a thing called confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is when our minds will find information in our 3D and will highlight that information in order for us to feel validated, in order for our fears to be validated, whichever state we're operating from. And this is one way that we get in our own way. It's important that when you're observing synchronicities, that they are synchronicities that are popping in as you're remaining neutral about a particular subject. I don't know if we ever learn how to not have the confirmation bias, because that's built into us, right? On a biological level, that's built into our brain, our systems. This is how we work. And so just be mindful of that, right? Synchronicity is one of those places where a lot of people get in their own way with it by trying to ascribe meanings to it that it just simply doesn't have. Sometimes we have to allow the experience to be the experience. That's not to say, again, that synchronicity never has meaning. Sometimes it does. But taking the time to learn when it does and when it doesn't for you is very important. Okay, so I think that was it. I think that was it. So that was someone's confirmation about something that they were asking for information for. And I don't know if this is how my readings are going to go, but it seems like right now they're focusing on me giving information rather than just confirming the question. So if this was for you, good luck with that. It's a very lovely journey discovering and diving into yourself to uncover your own intuition. So if it resonates for you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment, and until next time.